You want some amount of regularity, some amount of routine, some amount of habit in terms of when you wake up, when you go to bed, when you eat, when you move, when you get exposed to light. And by doing so, you develop kind of a more robust circadian biology. Circadian rhythm, circadian biology, it comes down to more than just like getting a good night of sleep. We find that a lot of genetic expression is tied to that 24-hour biological clock. We see a peak in testosterone, right? Like sometime between 7 and 9 a.m. We see like a grip strength and a post-workout protein synthesis and a body temperature peak sometime between 4 and 7 p.m. We see a rise in leptin, like an appetite regulating hormone, in the mornings. We see an increase in melatonin in the evenings. We see another surge of leptin while you're asleep between like 2 and 4 a.m. Like there's all these different hormonal cycles that are tied into that 24-hour biological clock. And there are certain cues that you can use to enhance the robustness of that clock. We know that movement and exercise in the morning is one strategy to actually allow for a well-regulated circadian rhythm. Does that mean you need to get up and do a CrossFit WOD? No, but it does mean that some kind of light morning movement, stretching, yoga, walk in the sunshine is actually great for the circadian biology. We know that food is another circadian cue, and in people who have disrupted sleep or disrupted hormones or leptin insensitivity or insulin insensitivity, many of these people actually need to jumpstart their day with breakfast, with food. It's actually it's a circadian signal. And so food and even things like including plenty of protein and fat with breakfast is a smart idea to enhance your circadian biology. Once you have a robust circadian rhythm, can you get some benefits from things like intermittent fasting, breakfast skipping? Probably. But if you have issues with sleep or issues with hormones, it might not be the best idea for you to skip breakfast. You should eat breakfast and move in the morning. Light is a circadian cue, right? Like copious amounts of blue light and sunlight and natural light in the morning and absence of that in the evening. I like light, I like movement, I like food as all circadian cues. So yeah, paying attention to your circadian biology, that 24-hour biological clock, is actually really important. And some people are different. Dr. Michael Bruce has some great research on, some people are wired to be night owls and some people morning people. And so you need to identify what is actually true for you and then try to establish some regularity, some amount of rhythm in your day-to-day life so that you, let me put it this way. We found that food variation, right? Like a high amount of meal variation is actually associated with propensity to gain weight because you're just throwing all this guesswork at your body. You could think of circadian biology in a very similar way, or like you want some amount of regularity, some amount of routine, some amount of habit in terms of when you wake up, when you go to bed, when you eat, when you move, when you get exposed to light. And by doing so, you develop kind of a more robust circadian biology.